The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to CBC's China's Digital Consumer Webinar Series 2020. My name is Maxime. I'm the Service Delivery Executive here at CBC, and today I am joined by Kengs Gao. He is the CEO and founder at Connect Plus. Today we are going to be talking about how to develop a cross-border social commerce presence on WeChat and drive sales through social selling tools. I know recently we've all had our webcams on, but due to some technical difficulties today, you should just be able to hear and see my screen. Just to check that everybody can hear me clearly, I just want to ask if you can find the little hand button on your webinar panel and give me a hands up. That will let me know that everything is working. I see some hands going up. Great. Perfect. And I've also circled here our questions box. I do want to encourage everybody to send us over some questions throughout the presentation. We are going to have a 15-minute Q&A at the end, and we would love to answer any questions that you have. So just do send them across and we will address those at the end. And also for everybody, a quick introduction to CBC for those of you who don't know. The CBC is the China-Britain Business Council. We are the leading trade organisation supporting UK-China trade. And here in the UK, we have offices across the country and industry sectors. I'm on the consumer team, and here in the consumer team, we support the agriculture, food and drink, and retail sectors. Over in China, we have 13 offices across the country. These include all of the first-tier cities, that's Shanghai, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Beijing. And we also have offices in the second and third tier cities as well. And our wonderful China team are over there on the ground helping UK businesses develop or break into the China market. As I say every time, this is our series and we have lots of webinars coming up for you. Into May, the next one we have is on the 19th, followed by, that's going to be with Crayfish. They're talking about B2B digital marketing. On the 26th, we're going to hear from Cumin on opportunities in China. This one is, I think, focused on how to adapt after coronavirus. And into June, we will also hear from ChemLinked, and that's going to be a food and drink focused webinar. As well, here at CBC, we are offering a free 30-minute video consultation during the lockdown with the CMBA. If you want to hear more about the service, you can do so on the CBC website under Events, Other Events, and China Business Clinics. Today, I would like to introduce to you our speaker. So this is Kengs Gao. As I said, he's the founder and CEO at Connect Plus. Kengs has more than 10 years of digital e-commerce experience. In his previous role as e-commerce and product head at Macy's, Kengs developed the brand's cross-border e-commerce site and WeChat store from the ground up. In this webinar today, we're going to provide a simple and straightforward explanation on how brands can establish a direct-to-consumer cross-border presence in China and how to highlight the ways in which to drive traffic and conversion through a range of social selling tools. So without further ado, I am going to hand you over to our speaker for today and welcome Kengs.
Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Kengs. Let me share my screen. Cool. So good morning. It's afternoon for me. I'm in Shanghai. Welcome to join this webinar session. It's my pleasure to share you the topic of how to establish a cross-border social commerce in China. Firstly, a quick introduction about myself. I'm the founder and CEO of Connect Plus. Connect Plus is a Shopify-like SaaS platform helping brands to establish cross-border online business. Myself, I have around 15 years of tech and e-commerce experience working in international retail organizations such as Macy's China, Land Rover, and Decathlon. I was in charge of the tech departments or the e-commerce departments during my my job in the international companies. And in my last job, before my startup, I helped Macy's China to establish the cross-border website, Macy's.cn, and WeChat mini program from scratch, be able to sell the inventory in US warehouse to China consumer. So I was also in charge of the daily sales of the site, running site merchandising, user acquisition campaigns, conversion optimization of the sites, customer service, etc. So it was a very interesting experience, which allows me to really understand the whole process of the cross-border. And I'm really excited to share some of my learnings and insights to you guys today. We're going to go through below topics: the China e-commerce insight, WeChat or Teemo if you choose a platform to start with, how to build a cross-border WeChat shop, how to drive traffic to your store, and last one is about one case study about the cross-border e-commerce. So for those who doesn't really have the idea of how big the China online market is, I show you some data. So first data is that the online retail sales in China is around 1.1 trillion GBP in 2019, with an increase of 17% compared with 2018. So it's quite incredible to see still we have a double-digit growth after almost 20 years of the e-commerce started in China. And it shows the great potential of the market. And Teemo is still the biggest e-commerce platform. And in last year's 11th November, what we call the Singles Day, it generated 1.7 billion GBP in one day. I list two main factors which are driving the growth. The first one is the rising of the middle class of the country. You can see in the statistics that there will be 76% of the urban population will become middle class in 2022. It was 4% in year 2000, and 54% among those 76% will be upper middle class. And if you consider the definition of the middle class and upper middle class, the household disposable income is ranged from 8K euro to 30K euro per year. And the population number is high, is like 830 million by the end of 2018. The second factor is the young generation of Chinese consumer. They are driving the growth. They're using social media a lot. They are tech savvy. 2/3 of the online time of them are using mobile and on social medias like WeChat, Weibo, and TikTok. So we can foresee that the trend of impulsive purchase on the social media will become significant. And for those young generations, they like to explore new things. They don't mind to explore, discover new brands because they are looking for brands that the friends haven't heard of. So they are most likely to buy international brands. And China is a mobile-first country. You can see the yellow curve is going up since 2008. and it's all the way up to over 90% or even 95%. So 95% of the shopping activities happen on mobile. Here's an example of a WeChat mini program. You can open the mini program directly on WeChat. You can browse the product list page to product detail page, choose different color, size to add to basket. Then go to the checkout page. And when you click payment, if you call the integrated WeChat payment and you see there's a currency there, it's a cross-border shop, so it's a WeChat international payment feature that can show the FX rate directly to consumer. The other one is Teemo mobile shopping.
穿一个带绒的，不带绒的话，女生嘛，不可以。好吧，那我们就继续。刚才看完小姐姐给大家讲的，那就继续看这位老姐姐为大家继续来讲解，好吗？我们好像也都讲差不多了。我们来看一会儿这个小号的一个小的一个小特辑。这个真的是在直播间已经 N 久了。欢迎一条秋裤，你还在直播间吗？一条秋裤，我是一件线衣。给你们看一下，我现在手里的这一款是一个非常百搭，而且。
I'm gonna stop here. It looks a little bit strange, maybe for Westerner, but it's quite common in China nowadays that in Taobao every night there's like thousands of live streaming sections that you can browse and shop, and you see even millions of people are watching the same live streaming and like fresh sell some discounted products. It's quite famous, especially during this COVID-19 period. And about the cross-border business is also on significant growth. You can see the consumer base. It grows from 100 million in 2018 to more than 200 million in 2020. And also there's a studies showing that during the COVID-19 crisis, there are more tendencies of the Chinese cross-border consumer to buy things through cross-border. Like on the left-hand side, that the WeChat mini program open rate is growing, have a huge spike. And on the right-hand side, 2 of the top 4 shopping apps in Apple Store, China Apple Store, were cross-border shopping apps. And when we talk about the cross-border market and entering China market, 2 names are mentioned a lot, Teemo and WeChat. Teemo is an Amazon-like e-commerce platform, which is dominating the market, taking over 50% of share, while WeChat social commerce is emerging in recent years, especially after the release of the mini program feature. And WeChat, it has 1 billion daily active user, so the opportunity on WeChat for social commerce is also significant. As you may know that the Teemo platform belongs to Alibaba and WeChat is part of Tencent. Those are the top 2 internet giants in China. They're competing intensively in China. So for some brands, there comes the dilemma of choosing which one to start the cross-border business. So I listed the comparison in detail for you. So for Teemo Global, you can see it's a typical platform business. The platform charge 5% of the commission, 1% payment commission, and you need to invest at least 15% of your GMV as a marketing budget. And you need to hire a TP who will always ask for 5% to 15% of sales commission to you. You need to pay a platform deposit. And at the end, all the data are controlled by Teemo. It's not owned by you, but owned by the platform. And you will be asked to join a lot of promotion. You need to discount your products to be able to join those big events to get traffic back. And on the other hand, WeChat, you don't need to pay platform commission. Payment commission is 2%. Marketing budget depends on how aggressive you are. Operation commission is quite similar to Teemo. You need to also hire a TP if you don't have a China team to operate the store for you. And there's no such kind of deposit or sales guarantee. And you can control your data, you control the look and feel, and also the activity, the contents on the site. So here comes the, my understanding is, it's not always an either or decision. You can start to build your brand on WeChat to test and learn. And if your brand are big enough, have a lot of traction in China already, and you have quite some marketing budget, that I think Teemo is a good choice, because apparently Teemo has mass market reach. It has tremendous traffic for you, and the mechanism is quite mature to drive sales. But WeChat is more a brand-owned digital hub that you're able to interact with your consumer. You can have the data, you understand better after you have activities with your consumer or followers, and you can drive no matter KOLs or like marketing campaigns to push repeatable sales. So it's not about choosing one or the other, but leveraging the advantage of each platform to maximize your sales and your brand equity. So key takeaways. First one, WeChat social commerce, I think it's a good market entry point. The entry cost is not that high, and you can manage your own brand, and you can have your content post each week. You can have launch your marketing activity alongside with your sales campaigns. And at the end, you have all the data, no matter the sales data or behavioral data. And once you have more understanding of your consumer, you can launch different kind of sales strategy or marketing strategy on the platform, or you can have a better view of the whole like e-commerce strategy. Teemo is a promotion-heavy platform. It has like promotion events each month or even each week. but it will require like 30% discount, 20% discount for specific products to be able to join the event. So it's better for well-known brands that you already have solid fan base in China that you can consider to go Teemo Global directly. The third takeaway is not always choose one or the other, but really combine the options, and you can decide which one to go first, or you can go to do both platforms, depends on how you want to run the business. So how to establish a WeChat cross-border e-commerce shop? I list the key steps. Firstly, you need to register a WeChat official account, mini program. It will take you like 2 weeks to accomplish the application. Secondly, you need to have the UX and UI design, store setup and development. Third one is about the payment. You need to apply for a merchant ID through WeChat to enable the WeChat international payment and settlement. And you also need to sign a contract with the acquirer of WeChat in your region or country to be able to manage the exchange rate settlement. Next one, you need to register in China Customs, or you need to set up a guarantor for you. The guarantor is a local entity which register in the China Customs, which guarantee that your business activity in China is legal. And then the complicated process about the warehousing and shipping management, inventory management, custom clearance process pilot run, and then the shop operation setup, the planning about content and media. There are quite some steps that you need to go through. And I also listed 4 major challenges. The first one is when you build the site, how to build a site from scratch with a low cost. I have the experience to use Magento or Demandware or copy the like global website solution to build a local site or mini program. It didn't really work well. It required a lot of investment, time investment or budget investment. The second one is about payment, how to avoid having to register a Chinese entity and not keep the cash in China, but to your like local bank. The third one is about shipping, how to manage the shipping and custom clearance. There are different like models to manage the custom clearance, like business to consumer, consumer to consumer, or bonded warehouse method. Last one is about traffic. When you establish the store, you need to see how to drive traffic and make the sales. So those are the 4 main challenges for, according to my experience and the clients that I help them with. And now I will give my personal advice on each of them. So first, about building the site. I would recommend that you will start to build a site using existing solution. Like there's a local solution that can help you. It's Shopify Line Connect Plus is one of them. There are other options in China that you can build your mini program in 2 weeks. That you just need to manage the business, don't need to take care of the technical part. Like you can see in the screenshot, you have different like component on the CMS. You just need to let your designer to design the store, and you just upload it, the images, and decorate your store through this CMS feature. You don't need to like hard code the site directly. And the second advice for building the site is that you need to find a tech partner who understands the cross-border process, because there are certain features need to be embedded in the mini program. It can't be a like simple domestic shop, but it requires, for example, you need to have the Chinese ID in the checkout page that the consumer need to input for customs clearance purpose. And you need to show the text on the product detail page in order to manage the expectation of the consumer in terms of return and refund. So because a lot of like marketing agencies claim that they can do mini program from scratch, they can like develop your bespoke mini program site, is a lot complicated than what they describe. The third advice, it shouldn't be like a simple shop that you can go to the product page, check out, and finish the payment. But you need to think about the marketing side. You need to have the growth hack features embedded in your mini program, because it's a social media. You rely a lot on these marketing campaigns to get traffic, get traction. For example, the good purchase, like Pinduoduo now is the second largest e-commerce platform. It's just leverage the 1 billion traffic on WeChat, and simply they just use the group purchase mechanism, and they become the second largest e-commerce platform in China. So what we recommend is group purchase, flash sale, promotion code, bundle, discount, KOL tracking, etc. You need to have those growth hack features that equip your shop in order to like maximize your sales. Okay, those are the 3 advice on building the site. The second challenge is about the payment. So here is the flow of the WeChat international payment and settlement process. So firstly, the consumer will pay on the mini program with RMB, and the WeChat payment will receive the cash. Then it will go to China Construction Bank for foreign exchange purchasing. Then the domestic bank will settle the cash on the overseas bank in T+1. And then in T+2, the payment institute will transfer the local currencies to your local bank. That is the whole process. And you need to have two partners. The first one is the payment service provider. The payment service provider is a tech supplier that integrate the whole WeChat APIs, payment APIs, with the overseas bank APIs. And it has partnership with the local payment acquirer or payment institute. And you need to sign a contract with the payment institute, and you bind your bank in their website, and then you can like manage the process smoothly. That's basically how WeChat International Payment manage the cross-border payment. And also during this process, after receive the payment of from the consumer, WeChat International Payment will pay the tax to the customs because it has direct integration already with the whole customs systems. So my advice is choose a good partner of payment service provider and also good payment institute. The third one is Logistic. Logistic is the most complicated one. The first advice is that you need to understand yourself about the basic rules of the China cross-border shipping. It's being like upgrading year by year. I will introduce you like two major one. Rule number one, if your product price is higher than 5,000 RMB, you can only ship through personal mail model, which is consumer to consumer model. And the package, in fact, can be over 5,000, but you can only contain one item if the package is over 5,000. And the tax rate is around 20%. The receivers should provide Chinese ID copy to the customs to finish the custom process. Normally, it should be the shipping company who will collect the receiver's Chinese ID copy before they apply for customs clearance. Rule number two, if your product is lower than 5,000 RMB, you can use the standard like B2C model, business to consumer model, following those conditions like the price of the whole package cannot exceed 5,000 RMB. The receiver should provide Chinese ID number, not necessarily the Chinese ID copy, but you need to provide a number, and this number need to be sent to the customs system. And the third one, the payer should be the same person using the same name and ID as the receiver, because you register in WeChat International Payment, and WeChat Payment has your ID, and the payment ID will send through to customers' IDs. When they do the process, they will check if the receiver is the same person as the guy who paid through WeChat Payment. And the fourth one is the annual limitation of 26K RMB can't be exceeded if the record in the customs exceeded the annual amount. Customs will like reject the parcel. So these are quite basic rules of CC model and BC model shipping. And like I said, that your tech partner needs to well understand the process, and those logics need to be like applied inside your mini program shopping process. For example, for the BC model, the price of the package cannot be exceeds 5,000 RMB. You need to have the restriction on the shopping cart that if it's over 5,000 RMB, it can't go to the checkout page, and you need to pop a notification to let the consumers understand the rule of cross-border shipping. And in terms of the inventory management and shipping, in fact, there are two ways to manage it. The first way is you put the inventory in your own warehouse. In this way, system integration is required. Like for the first steps, the mini program need to push the order information to your OMS, order management system, or warehouse management system. And then the warehouse will do the normal picking and packing. Then the international shipping carrier will go to your warehouse to pick up the package, and they will complete the whole clearance, customs clearance and domestic delivery. The complication here is that we need to sync the order information with the warehouse or order management system. It will take 3 weeks or 4 weeks integration, depends on the tech resources in your company. And we also need to sync the order information to the overseas logistic, like the international carriers system. Then they have the order information, the order bill, logistic bill, and the payment bill. Then they can do the complete clearance process. So this is the first way to do cross-border shipping. The second way is easier way, that you can use a third-party warehouse. Just one system integration required, that the mini program will push the order information to the third party's warehouse. They will do the pick and pack. They will do the whole like international shipping and domestic shipping, like the first option. And the challenge here is that you need to put the inventory in the third party's warehouse, and you need to manage the stock properly according to your sales forecast on the mini program. Traffic and sales. So the site operation of a mini program and a website is quite similar, but not the same. You have like merchandising management, marketing campaign, customer service, data analytics. But for WeChat mini program operation, the most important thing is about the content. You have your official account, you push weekly the contents, and you may leverage the contents of the KOLs or advertisements, and those should be operate in a whole, and you need to like divert the traffic from the contents directly to your mini program. That's the biggest differences on the mini program operation. And what's more is the WeChat site operation is totally different than the Teemo type of operation. It's like when you operate your site on Amazon or on your official website, is totally different. So normally we don't really recommend brands to use the same like Teemo partner, like TP, to operate both sites. And here I listed an example. In fact, it's really important to integrate your marketing activities on social media, on WeChat especially, and your mini program commerce. On the right hand side here is the marketing touch point. Here your official account is your content hub, is your marketing hub that you aggregate all the followers and all the activities. Then you can launch different type of like social campaign, for example, live streaming. You can launch a community event or a gift card, lottery, or gamifications. But though eventually those activities should bring the users or visitors to be the followers of your official account. And after you aggregated as many as followers, you need to make them convert. So on a post, you need to like redirect the activities or campaigns to the product detail page or campaign landing page. And inside the mini program, it's better to have like different type of sales activities like fresh sale, group purchase, seasonal, limited edition. Depends on the way you manage your brand, because some of the brand, they don't like fresh sale, they don't like group purchase, but you definitely can find a way to engage and convert the consumer. And here you can leveraging WeChat advertisement, like WeChat moment advertisement or official account advertisement or KOLs to like drive the traffic to either mini program or official accounts or those activity touch points to like aggregate the private traffic pool of your whole brand in China inside the social media. So that's the major part of the section, and last part will be the case study. So COVID-19 is impacting like everyone, even like China is recovering, but the offline stores are not fully like open yet. And we see the opportunity of the online business a lot in China. And I also see that the cross-border online business is having a great opportunity because we can foresee that there will be like less and less footfall in the retail stores outside of China because there will be less and less like outbound travelers in this year, in 2020, or at least for the next like 3 to 6 months. So how can brands continue to engage with Chinese user, continue to like sell the product to Chinese consumer because the purchasing power is still there. So Connect Plus, we launched a program called ePop-up, and the British House is our first client. Is multi-brand concept store. It has store in Beijing, and they opened a Chinese website like 2 years ago. But however, the user experience was not very user-friendly, and they are using very manual way to manage the inventory and shipping. Basically, once they have orders from the consumer, they will call the brand to send over the products to the office. they do the packing in the office by the employee, and then they send DHL to China. So it's very like old school way to do cross border. That's why we step in and we introduce our solution to them, and in 30 days we help them to launch the mini program shop last month. So with this mini program, it has the payment settlements feature. We help them to sign a contract with the acquirer in UK, and they receive GBP in T+2. We have a partner having a warehouse near London, and they put the inventory there, and they ship directly to China and finish all the customs clearance process. And they can have real-time data to check. They decorate the shop themselves by their China team, and they manage customer service by themselves as well. And all those are done within 30 days. We help them to set up the payment. We offer the initial version of the visual design of the mini program, and we do the shipping setup for them, manage the merchandising. We do a batch upload because they have like 200 SKUs. We can't just do it manually one by one, so we do a batch upload for them. Do a holistic pilot testing with all those payment and shipping and customer clearance, and then we launched last week before the Labor holiday. Well, so that's pretty much that I want to share today. Thank you guys, and if you have questions, you can ask freely.
Hi, Kenks. I'm back again. Thank you so much for your presentation. And yeah, some really good stats there. And it's always nice to see case studies as well, just to give people an idea of what's possible, especially on WeChat mini program. I can't see any questions in our box at the moment, but please do send them in. We have 10 more minutes to pick Kenks' brain on all things social commerce. Oh, I see one now. Yeah, we have a couple coming in now, Kenks. So I'm just going to read the first one. So the first question is from Teresa. So is it not necessary to set up a Wi-Fi in China?
No. For the cross-border, let you finish.
No, on you go. Sorry.
Okay, so it's not necessary to set up a Wi-Fi. As soon as you have a guarantor registered in the customs, that you can do the cross-border business. Because set up a Wi-Fi will take you months, so it's not the like best scenario. But if you want to establish business in the long run in China, that you can like start the process in parallel.
Right. Teresa has just added her question. So it's I want to do an e-commerce business. I heard that you need to set up a Wi-Fi in order to register a WeChat account. Is that not correct?
No.
Okay. Great. So you don't need a Wi-Fi. Cool. Question number 2. Can we share the deck if possible? That's from David.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, great. I think afterwards, you can see we have Paran's email contact here on the screen. So you can drop Paran an email to get the slides, and I will also be sending out some follow-up emails with all of Connect Plus's contact details. That's including Kenks's as well. You can get in touch if you have any more questions or if you would like the slides. Just going through our questions. Another one from Teresa. Am I subject to any profit tax in China? Will customs deduct this tax before they remit the money out from China?
The tax need to be shown on the checkout page, and WeChat international payment will deduct the tax and send directly to the tax bureau after the customers complete the process.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so it's integrated. And another one from Teresa. And what is the rate of tax?
Yeah, if it's a BC model, it's 9.1%. Generally speaking, it might vary, depends on different catalog, but it's around 9.1%. If it's consumer to consumer model, it can up to 30%. It's 20% to 30%. Depends on different catalog.
Okay, so it depends on the model. Perfect. I can't see. Teresa says thank you. No problem, Teresa. And no more questions at the moment, but I guess whilst we have you here, Kenks, it would be really good just to get your insight. I think you're on the ground in Shanghai at the moment, and you know, what is your kind of feeling about how consumer behavior has changed after the outbreak, and do you sort of predict any trends, any future trends that will have changed after?
Yeah, the most significant change that I feel personally is that I got a lot of inquiry how to do online business from those offline retailers. Before the outbreak, they don't really care, or they don't have time to take care of the online business. But because the store were all closed, so they have time to think about they need to do omni-channel, online, offline, and they need to like empower the salesperson, not only sitting in the store to do sales, but how those salesperson can leverage the social media to like reach a group of people, or can do like an online, offline sales assistant job. So that's the major change that happened to myself. And I would like to see more and more online merging offline model be tested or experiment in China, then which can benefit the international brands.
Great. And when you say online to offline, do you mean like just having an e-commerce store as well as a retail store, or do you mean integrating a sort of a purchasing channel where maybe you order it online and then pick it up offline, or what exactly do you expect?
Yeah, it's more the offline to online. For example, we develop a feature and we are testing in one of our client stores that the sales assistant, they can open the mini program of the brand, and they have a specific page to log in. Then after they log in, they are the owner of the shop, and they can share this mini program through WeChat chat or WeChat moments to their friends or to the people around them. And we can track the revenue generated by all those sharing. Then we can calculate the sales commission for those sales assistants.
Great. And also on the subject of WeChat, I know we spoke quite a lot today about setting up on WeChat and setting up your WeChat program. You mentioned the need to leverage things like KOLs and maybe like touchpoints with other e-commerce platforms. And I'm assuming that's because WeChat is a a closed network. So for brands who start out on WeChat and they've just made their WeChat mini program, what is the best way to kickstart that network? Would it be KOLs? And if so, what kind of platform would be best? Would it be Douyin or Little Red Book, or which channel?
That depends on the brand and the catalog. For example, for some cosmetic brands, they do a lot of seedings in Little Red Book, because that's the place that you get the traction from the local consumers. And after you have the like buzz on social media, they don't usually buy in Little Red Book. They go to Teemo or like WeChat mini program, or to find your official account to follow you and do the purchase. So for cosmetic brands, you can do some seedings or KOL seedings in Little Red Book. But like for some, we have some clients doing street brands, then they are already quite famous. They already have a group of followers in China, like the initial followers on the mini program on the official account. So they just need to do advertisement to reach the same group of people. So you need to design a mechanism to let those like see consumers to find the similar type of consumers, and using the data you can do like advertisement, more precise marketing to those people within the 1 billion user base in WeChat.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you for all of those insights from yourself, and also for asking all of our previous questions. We're coming up to 10:30 now, so we will wrap up at 10:30. And I just want to say again a big thank you to Connect Plus and to Kenks and Paran today, who's also lurking on the webinar as a panelist. Thank you guys so much for your time today. And thank you to everybody who has tuned in as an attendee as well. As I said before, we will be sending out our official follow-up emails to all of you. So if you missed today for some reason, or you want to listen to the webinar again, you can find it on our YouTube channel. This has all been recorded, so you can go and watch that again. That will be uploaded at some point this week. And if you would like the slides from Kenks, these follow-up emails will also have his contact and Paran's as well, so you can get in touch and they can share the slides with you. And yeah, once again, I just hope that everybody is well and coping with the lockdown. And yeah, thanks again, and we will see you later in May for some more webinars. Thank you, Kenks, and thank you, Paran. See you next time.
Thank you, everyone. Safe. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.